Hey guys, we're going to try a little bit of a rant today just to see for science what happens here. I was in a show. This is regarding live selling specific to Whatnot, I suppose. I was in a chat show, seller support show, in the community category that was that was very much structured as, and it was a co-host session with two sellers going live, giving what probably came across as very seasoned, professional, experienced advice about sharing shows. And it just pains me sometimes. And so just because I know that newer sellers coming to the platform go to the community category and assume, rightfully so to some degree, that the sellers who have the I don't know if poise is the right word, but to host chat shows, community seller support shows, have some degree of knowledge of what they're talking about, right? And so sometimes the shows are kind of like, hey, I'm new. We're just talking about what my first month was like. Okay. Or, hey, I just reached my 1K sales. This is how I did it. Like, all right, cool. But when it's like not that, and newer sellers don't know that, I feel like it's a real disservice. So we're going to rant just slightly and just to see. So if I'm new to you, my name is Tamika Crow of Custom Wood Burning. I've been selling heat gun art on Whatnot for 3 years now. I have been hosting community chat shows for 2 years now. And I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I like the term student teacher that I discovered just fairly recently. Is probably the best way to think of me, but I've been in the loop, very observant to the resale and the arts and handmade space, yada yada. So that's who I am. I try to tap into these newer chat shows to keep a pulse on what is important, what that perspective is, where the pinch points are, and these kind of things, because I like to, I change the topic each week in my chat show, and we like to address certain things that are kind of hot topics at the time. So when I was in this show and two sellers are asked point blank, sometimes I want to share my shows via DM, but I'm not sure if that's acceptable. Is that socially acceptable? And the host went on to say, yeah, I do it all the time. And I'm on the earbud. Listen, I'm at work right now. This is like lunch break chats, okay? And I'm like, okay, so here we go again with this, right? So I know that this person is just getting salty advice or poor advice, and I'm only on the earbud, so I'm not in the chat to see the commentary, but I'm also not I'm not Whatnot police. I'm not misinformation police. I'll leave it right there where it's at, right? But I want to PSA it here because this is a more appropriate platform. Anywho, so those who may be listening who are new, this is false. I say all this to say this is completely false. While it may be true that some sellers don't mind and some sellers do use this method, those two things may be true. But what is also true is Whatnot themselves specifically say in their terms of service that repeatedly sharing shows via DM is spam. It's considered spam and it's actionable. So I want to lead with that. Always good to know the rules, even if we can decide how we want to navigate them, but always good to know that up front. So that's like the official word. But on top of that, just putting it out there that we can self research, do our own research via Reddit posts or Facebook posts or other chat shows, that this is a very opinionated topic, that there's a lot of diversity as far as like how people want to approach this. But the thing is that like there's enough, I don't want to even put a number out, we can just say 50-50, but there's enough sellers that hate it to the point where some of them will block you on site. It puts a bad taste in folks' mouths when you're just like sharing your shows to their DMs because they're trying to run a business. And they have like customers that they're trying to serve, right? These sellers that are in the DMs are like hard to search and stuff anywho on Whatnot. As of today, this is the end of March 2026, and especially the higher volume the seller, the less they want like noise in their inbox. It is seriously, seriously frowned upon by so many sellers, enough sellers, that it is not recommended at all. I just have to say that. Yes, some are okay with it, and even in those cases, it's never safe to assume. That's the main message, is it's never safe to assume like, yeah, go ahead and share shows, especially not repeatedly, especially with no context, right? If it's just sharing a show to the DM without any like, hey, it's my first show, we were talking about this and whatever, like any kind of context, especially without any kind of relationship, it actually does the opposite effect, right? We think that we're promoting ourselves, and we are marketing ourselves, but in the wrong light. So huge word of caution here, because I hear this all the time, and every time I'm just like, oh, it's a disservice. Please trust me on this. It is a disservice. When I was in that show, who won't be named, when I was in that show, they were saying, yeah, I mean, don't share to people who don't follow you, but if anyone who's following you, yeah, then you're friends, and it's, safe to go ahead and just share your shows. Following and friendship does not make it okay either. That actually almost is like, that's all debatably worse, because it's like, so I follow you, so now that's a green light to just cloud my inbox. It's not. Respectfully, I say this with the most compassion because I know that this goes on all the time. But anyone who's newer that hears this, please know the only times it's appropriate to share shows in inboxes is if there's previous context, that two-way context that like leads into that. For instance, if I know one of my friends on Whatnot is into mini brands, and they collect them, and they're looking for the blue box of mac and cheese, right? And if I'm in a show and I see that, I'm like, hey, bet I'm sharing that show to them, because there's a prep to that, like there's a prelude to it. If I know someone's into handmade pottery, I can be like, hey, this is up your alley. You know what I mean? If it's personal and it makes sense to do so. When we're newer, we don't realize that over time, you keep gaining connections and keep gaining connections. You end up following a lot of people. You end up with a lot of people following you. Your inbox is way different. It's way, way, way different. The more you're selling, the more customers you have on top of your friends and connections, your inbox is just so different that it's never safe to assume. It's never safe to assume. That said, there are some sellers who do chat shows and have other shows that they invite you to come and drop your shows in their room at any time. And there are also some sellers, you can look in the show notes, or sometimes it's like displayed somewhere via moderators saying it, by like info listings. Maybe there's like some kind of notes somewhere in the show, in the background, in the staging, that they'll say like, at certain points, like wait for us to give the cue, and then we'll allow like show promotion. Like some sellers will do that at the end of their show, or intermittently, if they have to like get up and go get the door or whatever like that, like, okay, you guys drop your shows, I'll be right back type of thing. Wait for a cue. That is the best bet. On top of that, I'll just add, I told you guys I was going to rant on this. On top of that, I'll just add, it is a common opinion that asking in a show to promote your show is promotion itself. That is frowned upon. And if you're going to do that, maybe in the red chat, there was something else I was going to say too. It just really, like, you guys, it just really, every time I'm like, oh God, they're getting the wrong information. It's so bad. What was the other thing? What was it? I think I forgot. I know there's probably more, you guys. Just be safe out there. Read the room. If it says so-and-so joined, and then the next comment from so-and-so is, hey, I have a show tonight. You guys, that's like Kool-Aid man busting into McDonald's saying like, hey, we got Whoppers next door at Burger King. Like, it's not a good look. It does not gain customers. Nobody's going to follow you for it. Like, all these things, the proper way to promote your shows is to promote yourself. We got, put a little cherry on top. Just being yourself, going and networking without like used car salesman vibes. Just go and just like hang out with people, get in other people's shows, and just read the room, conversate to the topic that the seller is on, and people will get to know you and people will start to follow you. When there's the opportunity, then share your shows. But sharing shows via DM is, some people think that that's what that share button is for. That's not what it's for. Per Whatnot, that share button is for sharing like off platform. I know it doesn't say that point blank, but like, that is what it's for. Confirmed, certified from the source. That button, that share button, is meant to go to like Insta and Facebook and all these other places, not to everybody in their mom's inbox. Okay, so rant concluded. If you're sticking around this long, thanks for watching this. Kind of a test. I'll just add there, we are going to talk about the new Raid Train app probably tomorrow. That's a huge deal. It's very cool. I took a whole bunch of notes. I'll say one of the next couple days. I took a whole bunch of notes on it, and that's there's a lot of like ins and outs that we could benefit from knowing. It's specifically made for Whatnot, and it's a freaking game changer. It's only been a thing for 4 days, so we're going to talk about that. And then probably tomorrow we're going to talk about, there was an update. We're going to start bringing updates here. So there was an update to the Premier Shop status requirements, and a couple of them. And so that's the thing. I don't have my notes. I don't have my notes together here. They're on my phone, which I can't like use while we're videotaping. So tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it here. Rant concluded. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow. In the meantime, happy live selling. Bye-bye.